we're all part of the same American family. If you want to destroy that, do what Democrats have done, not just for the last 5 years, but for the last 30 or 40. Make one race the enemy of another. Make one gender the enemy of the other. Make Americans suspect and despise each other instead of loving their shared country.
Our next guest also spoke at AmFest. Former 2016 presidential candidate Dr. Ben Carson joins me now. Dr. Carson, great to have you back on the program. Can Republicans convince enough voters of that message that you just heard from J.D. Vance to win out in 26 and in 28?
I think they can. I think it's something that many of us have been talking about for a while now. And I mentioned it at Charlie Kirk's memorial. It was the congressional record, January 10th, 1963, over 60 years ago, when Congressman Herlong of Florida read in the 45 Goals of Communism in America. One of them was to gain control of the media and Hollywood so that you could change the culture. This is a culture war that we're fighting. And also to put people in a battle against each other on the basis of race, age, income, gender, religion, political affiliation, everything. And, you know, America became a great nation because of our values and principles. If we throw those away, then we're just like a ship in the sea with no rudder. And they know that. But I think we're waking up. I was so enthusiastic because there were so many young people, record number of young people there. And they're very enthusiastic, and they've grown up in an era of indoctrination and wokeism, and they've seen where that's leading. And I think a lot of them are putting their brain into gear and saying, this is not where we want to go. Yeah. And I believe we're in time. I think they've realized it.
So where do we turn in a moment like this? Well, if you listen to the vice president, he talks about religion, specifically the foundation of America, which is Christianity. Listen.
The only thing that has truly served as an anchor of the United States of America is that we have been, and by the grace of God, we always will be, a Christian nation. I'm not saying you have to be a Christian to be an American. I'm saying something simpler and truer. Christianity is America's creed.
And Nicki Minaj saying similar comments. Dr. Carson, why is that anchor of Christianity so vital to the future of our nation, regardless of whether or not one is Christian or not?
Well, one of the major Christian principles is love your neighbor. And one of the principles that we've seen replacing it in the hearts of many people is hate your neighbor or cancel your neighbor if they don't agree with you. That comes straight out of the book of Marxism. There's only one way, my way, and anybody who's not adhering to that needs to be eliminated. And that's why people like Stalin, Hitler did what they did. And we must fight that. That is completely anti-Christian. People have loved their neighbor, they have worked with them. One of the things that led us to success early on is if somebody was injured or hurt, the neighbors took care of their family. That's the American way.
Agreed.
We can't give that up.
It's a beautiful message. Dr. Carson, as always, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Todd.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.